Colored beans.
Smile for the camera, Binks. We gotta go soon. So it's shit, I don't actually know what it is. It's like the 24th or 5th of September. It's the 25th of September, Sunday, 2022. And I'm on my way back from Massachusetts back to New York, which is my home state. And yeah, I don't really want to talk. I just wanted to give you the update. Because the vlog, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to record all my bullshit and then edit it all together with flash cuts and all like this, and then get popular on YouTube and get $1 million. We'll be back when I'm home, I suppose. Or when there's like something like super interesting to record, but I do not anticipate there will be anything interesting to record, and so I'm going to listen to Case Files, episode, I think it's like 200 at this point, 220 something, who knows, but yeah. Alright. Very brief update. I went to the dentist again today, and they took me quite seriously. Because I kept telling them, like, listen, I understand that the stupid blue contact paper isn't showing you the high point on my teeth, but, like, what you gotta understand is, I feel it. Thankfully, this is the best dental practice I've ever been with. Also, by far the most expensive. Like, fucking by far and away the most expensive. Maybe one of the most expensive in the entire region. So, for whatever that's worth. But, yeah, I mean, they were super professional. They took me very seriously. It took a while, you know, I mean, because it was like, I was, you know, they tried to, you know, drill it, and I'm like, I'm telling you, it's still there. And they're like, well, it could just be because it's inflamed, da da da. I'm like, no, it's not like that. Like, I'm telling you, it's not like that. So, you know, after a while, I left, but I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have kept bugging them. But it doesn't hurt anymore, but it definitely, the contact is wrong. Like, because I can pull the tooth forward, like, this, like, fake-ass one. And then there's no contact at all. But then when I drop it, I don't know if you could hear the difference, but like, versus you probably can't hear the difference, but like it's like the light noise. See what I mean? I mean, you may not be able to hear it at all, but I mean, like, I definitely feel the difference. And then there's this cancerous fucking looking thing right here, which has been here for a while. So that's just like spooking me out. I'm not really sure what that's about, but they were able to at least relieve most of the tension and pressure They also did a I forget what the hell they called it, a interproximal reduction or something like that, where they took like sandpaper and basically removed space between the teeth so that they wouldn't pressure against each other, and that significantly helped. Um, but there's still like an annoying contact point, but it isn't painful, so it's kind of like I'll just give it a month and see if maybe I adjust to it. But like, I don't think so. I think next month I'm just gonna have to drive back again for like the third fucking time, because the first time I went back to get it reduced or whatever, like get it drilled. They did it, but they used the contact paper, and I was like, yeah, I trust you. That's, you know, if you don't see any contact, it should be okay, which was stupid. Never trust the contact paper. Never. Don't trust it. This is really frustrating. You over. It doesn't fill your medication because they're incompetent and negligent. They're like, oh, your estrogen's too high. You come back for a test. You go back for the test. Like, oh, we lost your test. Got to come back for a new one. There was a problem with it. You go back for a new one. Like, oh, well, because we can't test you at the right time of your cycle, even though we gave you the appointment, it's your fault. So I went like more than a month and a half without my fucking medication because these people are just wholly incompetent. Fuck them. So that's just about an update on my health. Overall, I've been feeling mentally a little worried. You know, the days are definitely the days are shorter. There's less sunlight. It's September 25th, 2022, and yeah, um, chilling. It's you can probably see it. It's raining pretty hard actually, so I should probably get inside. You know, but at the same time, like I think that was lightning actually. We'll see in a moment if there's thunder. Could have just been the screen, like adjusting or something, or like a. It's probably just a water droplet. Oh man, I'm such a boomer. This is all aster right here. And that's another type of aster. More aster, just the aster everywhere. I'm gonna get some aster tattooed on me. And it's gonna be pretty sweet, I hope. It's one of the nicest spots in the whole cemetery. There used to be a thing up there, but it fell. I think it was in 2017 that it fell, but I could be wrong about that. An episode for a different time will be about why, or maybe not why, but just the consequence of when a narcissist doesn't let you have a good time. It's like chipmunk. See it? Hey, little guy. What you eating? Bye. He's trying not to get eaten. He's like, ah. My car is probably right up there, next to the yellow toad flax. I'm not sure I've pictured that one this year. I should go take a picture of that for my field guide. Get some yarrow. Bubblegummy, but not super bubblegummy. Pretty unique, actually. I don't really have words for that. It's very good, but it's not like, I'd say that's like top 50. Wow, this one's really good too. Wow, this one's really good. This one has a little more like citrus to it, but isn't that citrusy. It's still kind of like more vanilla based. Like, I say vanilla, but I actually just mean like yarrow. Yarrow is its own specific kind of smell. Some of them don't even smell like yarrow. You're just like, what the hell? Is this bubblegum or watermelon? Wow, this one is like, kind of similar to the other one, just a little different. This one, you gotta get it nice and ground up. Didn't really smell like anything. It was surprisingly unscented. Same with this one, but it's from kind of the same area. I wonder what that's all about. Ooh, some more. That one wasn't good. I hope this one's better than that one was. That last one was terrible. So like narcissists, like what do you do when they won't let you have a good time? It's like, you can't just like tell the narcissist off, you know? You can't even ignore the narcissist. It's like, I'm not gonna let you make me have a bad time ever again. Now that I know you're a narcissist, it's like great, but you're still on the trip with them, right? Like if you're on a trip and you can't go home, or worse, you fucking live with them, and when you get home from vacation, they're still there waiting for you. This is yellow toad flax. I do not know anything about this plant. I like it though. It is September 26th, 2022, Albany's Rural Cemetery. Skies are opening up. It's starting to really rain. I can feel it. I hope I don't get killed to death by a branch. Look how big this tree is. These are white pine trees. Wow. Yeah, I'm not in an ideal spot if it breaks, you know? I think I'm gonna run. Oh shit, bro, fuck this. Holy fuck. Whoa. Holy cow, bro. Oh, fuck this, alright, it's time to run. Oh no. Thankfully, I'm in good ass shape, you know? Alright, I'm gonna put my phone in my pocket. We'll be back after this. I know you didn't get the satisfying through the door with me. You can probably tell by how bright it is that it has stopped raining. Oh gosh. I'm trying to see if there's a rainbow, but I don't think there is. I think if there was a rainbow, I would be standing where the rainbow ended for people staring this way. Jeez, I'm like legitimately blinded. Wow. I couldn't see anything there for like quite a few seconds. My eyes did not adjust properly. I was like legit blinded. It's very beautiful out here. I'm glad I stuck around. You hear the geese. I think I'm probably just gonna take off. I don't really think I'm gonna walk around too much more. I'm kind of just tired. It's probably time for me to go home and make some food. I'll probably make spaghetti or something like that. I gotta go figure out food. Really frustrating for me. I wish I didn't have to eat and I was a cyborg, but unfortunately, I do have to eat. Oh, here comes the sun. Wow, it's really beautiful out. Thanks for joining today, guys. I'll flip the camera around for a bit, get a bit of an HD view, and then we'll head out. I've been shooting at like 3200 ISO this entire day without even realizing it. So a lot of my footage is just going to be kind of scuffed. But whatever though. It's not a huge deal. Whew. Thanks for joining today, guys. September 26th, 2022, Rainbows and Razor Blades. We'll be back again soon. Today's September 26th, actually. I think I said it was the 25th a moment ago. I mean, it was a moment ago for you. For me, it was like 2 hours ago. But we come live today from Albany's Rural Cemetery in Menands, New York. This episode of Rainbows and Razor Blades was sponsored by this dragonfly. We'll be back after this. That was pretty cool. We have 6 gigabytes, and we have, so we have 6. So we have 6 gigabytes to record with. We have 6 gigabytes to record with, and so we have about 6 gigabytes to record with, and about 50% battery. So we're looking at like, I don't know, probably 40 to 50 minutes maximum record time, and like that's a good amount, but it's not ideal. A lot of that is restricted by, well, yeah, both battery but also the capacity of the memory banks. If I start running now, I could probably see that train, but like, I don't know. I don't really care that much about, first of all, doing this voice. So I was thinking about how disassociated I am from my own identity, right? Like, I don't really have in my ego a sense that I'm a musician. Like, I just kind of just like feel like a ghost, like I don't exist, I suppose. And part of that is like, it's hard to explain, like what severe narcissistic abuse will do to a child, but also what being trans will do to a child, regardless of the narcissistic abuse or external system. It's kind of like I got double whammies. It's like, no whammies, and then you get double whammied. Dun, 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 dun. My tooth still feels fucked up. I think they may be right, unfortunately. Like, that's scary to think about, that they may be right, that it may actually be my other tooth. And like, that makes sense, since like, I probably need braces. You know, there's this meme, it's called Ideal Image. Actually, no, it's a business, and they'll sue me if I shit talk them, but I have nothing but nice things to say. I think that the one woman I saw, the one time that I saw her, she was an idiot. And like, I mean that in the way that's like, you don't have to fire her. You don't have to like ruin her day and shit talk her. You don't even have to like down talk the business itself. Like, as a model, I think it's aggressively overpriced, but I think that's kind of the point. Because it's called Ideal Image. They just hired this dumb girl. You know, she's very attractive model woman, right? You know, and I walk in there like, hello, I'm an ogre, right? Like, and I understand the position, right? So she, for like 20 minutes, like, it doesn't matter how much she talks. First of all, I'm never gonna look like her. That's the meme. It's like, fine, but at least let me get rid of my beard, like, as a minimum, right? Right, and they're not looking to be Christian zealots about it and like gatekeep me. No, they're trying to take my money. They're trying to sell me on the idea that this is the best idea I've ever had, and that they're so happy that I'm there. They can't wait to help me out and take my money. And I'm just like, listen, and I didn't know this back then. If I knew this back then about myself, I would have verbalized this almost immediately. And I would have said, listen, I am autistic, and I don't have time for your bullshit. They're mowing over there. We're going the opposite direction. That sucks. That's where I was heading. That's where I wanted to be today. That's so unfortunate. All right, we're going to go the really long way today. We're going to go through the Jewish cemetery today. And we are going to go through... Yeah, we're going to go this way. We're going to be a deer today, 100%. 100% deer mode today. We're going to try to get as many ticks as possible. Because if I set the world record for ticks, then, I mean, if you're in the Guinness World Record book, I mean, you have to be a millionaire, right? I mean, they got to give you like $1 million, right? I mean, you're in literally the world's record book, right? There's like you got to be at your job, right? Like, Why do you have to ever go to work? Is this chamomile? Oh no, it's aster. Interesting. I did not anticipate to see aster blooming like that. So to back to the story. So this was like probably now 5 years ago. 5 full years ago. And I'm walking in there and I'm trying to, like, you know, size up what laser and electrolysis is going to look like. And had I known what I know now back then, things would have gone the following conversation. Hi, is there a tech I can talk to? Hi. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks. I really appreciate that. I like your hair. Hey, is there a tech I can talk to? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I said, interesting. I understand. However, is there like a tech I could talk to? Right? And then that would have been the end of the conversation. This is, you see where we are? Walking the line right here. And that's because there's a path over there. So this is kind of just like liminal space before I get to somewhere else. But that I won't have to deal with people like the imposters from Among Us. No one's going to cross paths with me. I don't need to deal with them. So I'm at this place called Ideal Image, right? And they're what the hell are they? Electronic? Is that the word? Electronic hair removal place. Laser treatment, that's what it is. So it's basically the same thing. They call it laser treatment, but yeah, it's basically electronic hair removal. And you know, it's using the electromagnetic spectrum to do whatever the fuck that it does. Anyways, what it does, and what was explained to me, and what should have been explained to me immediately, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to their engineer, and the person who was just like, okay, engineer. I'm not even sure that that's their verbiage, actually. That's probably mine. Whatever they call them, they're technicians, right? Like, oh yeah, the 45-minute fucking drag and drop fill in the blanks test you had to pass to, oh, look at me, hit the red button, right? Now I can understand if something went wrong, right? There was so here's a side story, and I forget the fucking name of the business. Lucky for them, I forgot the name of the business. They're out of business anyways because of this. They killed people with their X-ray machine, right? Because of a computer glitch. They didn't even mean harm, you know. The problem was when the problem was pointed out to them, rather than like they did what every corporation does. They seek profit and they seek to minimize their own damages in every regard. It's just like, so yeah, so it didn't work out well for people, and it was basically criminal as far as I'm concerned. But also at the same time, like, how are they supposed to know about the computer glitch? That's what they argued, right? Now the engineers should have known or been able to analyze the statistical pattern that people were dying at these hospitals. I mean, they were dying. And it was pretty obvious because they all, you know, had used the same type of machine. And eventually it was figured out that there was a repeatable error. And so they were like, oh, well, we'll just fix the software. We'll do a software update. But then it kept happening because there was more than one error and more than one, you know, whether, I don't know if it was like a Stack Overflow or like some other thing that was explained in nuanced detail where like there was like a certain amount of time that if you had pressed the button, then it wouldn't trip the byte count or whatever correctly, and then it would fry you with the equivalent of like you're trying to do, and I don't actually know if this was exactly it, you're trying to do 500, but it does 500 million, right? And like that's, you know, you got to imagine each little particle is kind of like a bullet in a way. Like it's like you know, it's like that's how powerful it is. Like it's like an electronic bullet that just goes through you and fries your cells in a way that's like, we don't even really have language for it because it isn't something that we can observe outside of like scientific measurement, and like you know, it's observable but not in real time, and that so we don't really have like words for it because it never existed in nature before. Why would we have language for something that never existed before, that we have no reason to even try to perceive, and that even if we did try to perceive it, it'd be like trying to perceive a ghost, right? The whole point is that you can't perceive a ghost. So I wonder, what's the worst that someone could do? And I think you could do a really bang up job, really fucking up somebody's skin with a laser, right? Like if you're trying to remove on my face and you do like, great, now I have like 16 or 17 permanent red blister marks forever, and you've permanently damaged my skin, and I'm probably going to need skin grafts, right? That's what I think the worst that could happen is, right? So I want to talk to the person who's actually going to be doing it, not their fucking sales representative. So the sales representative, so one of the things I've learned to start doing is, listen, I know I don't look like money, but like I'm actually Like I'm able to pay. I promise you that. Can we just skip to me asking you questions and assume I'm already sold? And then usually if I put it like that, then they're like, oh, okay. Let us suck your dick then, sir. Right, but back then I didn't understand. So I listened to this woman's 20-minute speech about, like, actually I disassociated after about 5 minutes because it felt like the teacher was talking to me and I was locked in a room with the teacher. And anytime I have that feeling of adult versus child and I feel traumatized and minimized, I realize that I'm being abused. And so sales isn't, the woman's not abusing me, the company's not abusing me, capitalism is abusing me. And I don't fault the woman in her personal capacity, maybe a little bit the business, but they're providing a service and they're perfectly within their rights to do that. And so I don't even really hold moral judgment against them, because that's what sales is. It's inherently coercive. Right now, whether or not that these people are paid on like commission, I doubt. I seriously doubt it. But let me tell you, these people are out there to make money. So she spends about like 25 minutes selling it to me, maybe 30 minutes selling it to me, about as long as I've been talking to you. She's just babbling about, oh, the da 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 da. And like, I'm too autistic to know that I'm even supposed to have to say something, because I don't realize what I'm doing is buying something. I just am trying to like float through the room. I don't know what's going on. I'm autistic. Any more than your 5-year-old kids knows what's going really on. Yeah, they have some idea, but mostly they're just hiding behind you. I have no one to hide behind. I'm a grown-ass adult, so I just kind of sit there and like, oh, I don't have anyone to hide behind. And I still don't know what's going on, and I never have, and I never probably will. Or at least that was the thought back then. I definitely, at least sometimes, at least in retrospect, know what's going on or what did go on. And as I catch myself and audit my mistakes, I start to cover those pieces. So again, today I would have walked in and been like, hey, is there a tech I can talk to? I actually, already talked to one at the other place, but I'm looking to talk to one of your techs. They're like, oh, what other place? And I'd be like, well, I mean, they're your competition. I don't want to throw them under the bus. Let me talk to one of your techs when you get a chance. I'll be here for the next 15 minutes or whatever, because I'm not gonna send that by email, right? I want to see who I'm walking into. I want to see if they're wearing a fucking cross, so that they don't say what the first electrolysis, this is a totally different woman, right? This is not affiliated with, and to be very clear, has nothing to do with the laser removal place that I was just telling a story about. Like, I don't want to get sued. The laser place was very professional, and we'll finish that story after I tell this story. So this is the first time I had electrolysis before, because I was shopping around. I'll tell that story after. So let me finish the original story. So the people that do not have ADHD are losing their minds listening to the story. The people with ADHD are like, oh, cool, there's gonna be 2 stories. Dude, there's gonna be 2 stories. Y'all get it. Y'all understand it. So I'm sitting there just like freaking out. Total dysphoria. And yeah, she says to me like, all right, let's go. We could talk right now. We could like do a whole session. And I'm just like, interesting. So the tech takes one look at me, and with no bigotry in their heart whatsoever, walks over and just says, do you mind if I pluck one? And I'm just like, that'll be okay. And they were just like, and I was like, ow. And then they like brought it to the other room and they came back and they were just like, you have extremely red hair. You're not a candidate for laser treatment. I suggest that you go and you try to find an electrolysis. We can't help you here. And I was just like, wow. That, and like the look on like the woman's face who had just spent 20 minutes sales pitching me, she was like, and I was just like, and I looked at her and I was just like, oh, thank you for your time. Only it probably sounded more like, well, actually it probably sounded like that. Oh, thank you for your time. Probably something like that. And yeah, so that was the last time I ever went in there, and again, that's not so right, like now I never went on like Yelp or whatever to make a big deal out of it. I didn't feel like it was transphobia. I didn't feel like it was Christians trying to just deny me service. Nah. I understood that the smartest person also understood. I understood that I had talked to the smartest person, that the smartest person was obviously being honest with me. They didn't want my money. Why would they possibly lie to me other than to be discriminatory? But like, if they're going to discriminate, that just doesn't seem like the way they're going to do it, by telling me the truth about my red hair. And then when I went online later to confirm whether that was true, of course it is. And it's like flagrantly obvious that that was true. So much so that the woman who wasted 20 minutes of her own time and mine should have just like been like, hey, first thing, before we even try to like tell you about it, we can still have the talk. But like, before we even really go on, it makes sense to just pluck one of your hairs if you're interested in our service, because it may hurt a little bit, but we'll get a what's it called, like a swab, like an alcohol swab. will alcohol swab down the disposable plastic tweezers. No chance of getting sued for bacteria here. No cross-contamination from the bitch's fingernails here. And then, boom, they take a little bit of your hair and then they tell you a couple minutes later, like, hey, listen, we have other options and we have associates that we pay to cross-advertise with, because a lot of queer people come through here, which they did not say and was not the case. Mind you, back then, I was one of the first, if not maybe seriously, unironically, maybe the first in Albany. You know, there was elder women that had been doing it very differently than I had been doing it, even if it is sort of the same kind of thing. But like, I started at 24. Now, bless the world for being this way, there's little 16-year-olds doing it, and there's like a bunch more of them every year. And we're all competing for the same estrogen and the same doctors. And, you know, no one knows what really is happening, and there's not a lot of specialists. But there's a growing number, and there will be a growing number. But I was through the cracks, right? There was no generating profit for a queer audience. Like, if you want cheap electrolysis, come to Sarah. She'll be grossed out by your face and will pluck every fucking hair. There's your advertisement. Oh, I don't want someone to be grossed out with me. Good, go pay for laser. You could pay $3,000, $5,000 for them to tell you that you're not a candidate. After they scar your face up because they're bigots. Right? Now that's the second story. Again, that part has nothing to do with, and I wouldn't even bring that up if it hadn't literally happened to me and if I didn't literally have scars to prove it. Just as an FYI and full disclosure, this right here is hormonal, I think, related, because it wasn't there before I went off my hormones and then back on my hormones and then back off my hormones and then back on my hormones. This one right here, very well might be. This thing, I have no idea what the hell this is. This worries me, actually. This is like I should go see like a doctor and have them be like, yeah, that is cancer. Why didn't you come in last year? I'll be like, because I hate you and I don't trust you and I don't trust anybody. Yeah, it definitely like freaks me out, but like, if I let every little red dot freak me out, what do they say to watch out for on a tumor? Something that changes? I mean, this thing's just been growing and expanding, and like, I see it every day and it just freaks me out. And it's not because I see it that it freaks me out. It freaks me out because it's like things that I've read about that are potentially dangerous start like this. And it did not used to be there. It's been there for about half a year and it just hasn't gone away. It's the type of thing that, like, if you freak out the first week it's there, like these, if I freaked out every time I got pimples, you'd be going to the doctor over a pimple. But like, this is not a pimple, and this has been here for about a full fucking year now, based on the pictures that I was looking back at. So this, but and again, this has nothing to do with the electrolysis. This might. I'm not gonna be able to sue or prove it in court because of the time. First of all, this is a long time ago. It's 5 years, statute of limitations, all that. There's no shot I could sue her. But she said to me, right exactly before she started, and I've told this story before, she says to me, do you know what Jesus said before he died on the cross? And I was like, no. She's like, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And I was like, okay. And back then I didn't really know what that was like, what that was. I think if that had happened today, I would have probably done the same thing I did back then, been uncomfortable with it and just toughed through it because I don't want to cause a controversy, because I'm scared and I don't know how to stick up for myself. It's very easy to bully people like me, and I don't even know if she was bullying me or if she just was like, she viewed me exactly the way that someone that would say something like that to someone like me would view me. And I'll leave it at that. And on that note, I'll leave you as the audience to kind of come to your own conclusions about how you would feel having had that experience. And then, you know, like, I don't even want to try to fill in the blanks for what that felt like for me and what it still kind of feels like for me. It goes along with this other story that I told that's also already on my channel uploaded. It's one of the first I actually uploaded, and it's about the first time I got dommed, which is a meme because it's actually about the first time I got openly sexually harassed by a government employee. And he was actually a federal cop, and I only found out that he was a federal cop like shit, maybe 3 years after it had happened, because I didn't understand what jurisdictions worked in which buildings back then. That was way before I got down the auditing rabbit hole. And so, yeah, I mean, like, one of the reasons I'm so into the auditing stuff now is just, like, the fact that that guy wasn't held accountable is testament to two things. One, the fact that I never filed complaint because I didn't understand what had happened for a while after it had already happened, because I was so vulnerable back then that I didn't recognize what abuse looked like. I knew it was fucking weird and I never forgot about it, which is why I eventually found out, like, oh, that was abuse and that's exactly specifically what type it was. Like, if you don't know that someone calling you like an axe wounded troon, like if you just hear that and you're like, wait, what syllables did you just say, Sarah? I'll have to rewind that because I've never even heard anyone make syllables similar. What language is that and what does it mean? If you don't know about that, the shibboleths, the dog whistles, and the rest of it that people will throw at you, if you don't know about that, the type of branding, silent psychological branding that they can do to you, then you won't know how to be defensible against it. And so I'm kind of a defense against the dark arts teacher, and I get to mention quirky little things like that with impunity because, one, I'm already demonetized. Two, I don't give a fuck if I get canceled. Oh no, I'm getting canceled. Canceled's not prison. You think I give a shit? Oh no, I'm canceled. I don't care. I can make J.K. Rowling jokes every goddamn day of the week. I shouldn't say goddamn in the house of the Lord. We'll be back after this. Thanks for joining. This is Rainbows and Razor Blades, September 26th, 2022. I don't even know what song to play at this point. I'm wishing I could run away, but I wouldn't know where to go, what songs to play. Like, oh, we're never coming back. Hey buddy, didn't you read the sign? It's a one-way track. Wish I could disappear like a rain cloud, morning fog, UFO, forest deers. I wish I had just a couple more friends. I'd go out and drink a couple more beers. Wish I could read your mind like a World War. My daddy in the NSA. Wish I could hold your hand like a chainsaw. Fuck you, go away. 'Cause I'm a manic, depressive, fixated, religious grandiosity, delusions of reference, preferences for someone to fill my curiosity. Wish I could get attention from figments of my imagination, phrases of figurative language, figure it out. Symptoms of my anxiety, panic attack, code gets written in proprietary. Self-isolation, reflected narcissistic hatred, withdrawal from drugs and medications, compartmentalizing misanthropic disassociation. I never made it to my high school's graduation, singing. I don't need therapy, don't need your gaslighting bullshit, ADHD. I don't need therapy, don't need your Prozac or bullets for World War III. Even if the beat stops, I'll keep singing. Even if my lyrics flop, I'll keep dreaming. Even if my lungs are shot, I'll keep screaming. Wishing I could run away, but I wouldn't know where to go, what songs to play. Oh, we're never coming back. Hey buddy, didn't you read the sign? It's a one-way track. Oh, wishing I could run away, but I wouldn't know where to go or what to say. But I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Phrases are figured and language figured out. Oh, wishing I could run away, but I wouldn't know where to go or what to say.
But priestess, it's scientifically proven by the algorithm that if you just are more concise or do more edits, then people will like your show more. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to gain a bigger audience. I'm not even really trying to gain a specific audience. You know, I just know for a fact that the people that like me like long form. They like high-strung schizotypals, I guess. I don't know. You know, if I were to do market research into the demographic that consumes my content, I mean, geez, man. I don't even think that. I think it'd be interesting because it wouldn't even be a study in demographics. It'd be a study in gender sociology, because you'd have to discern what type of people that they even were, not knowing what type of person that they already are, because they're not necessarily like a crafted type of person, right? Like if you're trying to create an audience at the same time that you're trying to sell them content, you're playing both sides, you're playing both the field and the screen that the field watches, then it makes sense that you could take people from the crowd and just the masses in, like, say, like a football stadium, right? And you could drag them specifically one by one or entice them onto the field, like, hey man, you could vote against the Jews. You could do it. And actually, not only could you do that, we'll give you a reason why that everyone else won't be able to defend their position that you're a bad person for saying that you're going to vote against the Jews. And here's how we'll do it. So, first of all, stop talking about the Jews. You're going to get canceled. The better thing to talk about is gender in schools. Because if your modus operandi is to cause a fascistic blood coup, right, and an ethnic cleansing, the way you're going to go about doing that is by dog whistling. And so that brings me full circle to the story that I just told, and where we're going with this episode is we're going to talk a little bit more about dog whistle AI memes. Or we're going to talk a little bit more in general, but like one of the things I want to mention is AI memes. So I'm going to put some on the screen. Ready? You look at it and you're just like, oh boy, it's a picture of a nice china set. Is it though? Is it though? Because here's, and I'm gonna play this for. So here's what here's what I'm gonna do. In order to remain in compliance with the terms of service of YouTube, I'm literally going to insert this for exactly one frame. Right? You'll see it. You'll understand it. You don't have to pause and back up to it unless you really want to. And I'm doing this not to spread hate, but in order to spread awareness, because you have to know what the enemy's imagery is. You know, and I mean, you know, I don't have to show you anything unlawful, but you need to understand the types of memes that I'm talking about, or you won't be able to defend yourself against them. It's the same way that if you don't know that the Ku Klux Klan is the ones who show up with the white hoods on, you might be like, whoa, we're role-playing ghosts today. That's awesome. And definitely someone's already put that idea in the zeitgeist, because it's hilarious. So, in order to be a counter-fascist, truly, you have to understand the fascists. And you have to understand them from the inside out, or you're not going to be able to anticipate their type of thinking. And so you will not be able to see them when they're moving. And you will also not be able to anticipate where they may want to move to. And even when you do see them moving, you may not be able to recognize danger, the same way that the cold-blooded predator of the python in Florida, the Burmese python, is an invasive species that a lot of their local fauna, what's left of that to begin with, is literally eaten alive because they just don't have an understanding that nature itself could move that way.
My friend yesterday sent me a picture, and she says I screamed so fucking loud that people looked. And it was a picture of a stick bug, because she just was looking for the reptile, and she didn't understand that there could have even been a stick bug, let alone that a stick could be a bug. Because if a stick can be a bug, let me tell you, anything can be anything. Anything could be anything at any time. Like, this could be a giant spider. I don't know. Is an apple a spider? I thought I was looking for a reptile, and now sticks are bugs. Right? Like, that's like a serious problem. Right? You can listen to ex-daddy Dr. Jordan Peterson talk about that type of nonsense, but there's people, and I am not going to deal with that. Let me rip a little bit of this just to see what it is. Okay, so this one is Trametes versicolor. You can tell because it's got all these teeny little spores. Oh, this may be the polypore one? Ooh, this may not be Trametes versicolor. It's hard to tell because, yeah, I think it is, though. I think this is turkey tail. The other options would be the purple something fucking other, I don't know. Don't listen to me, especially with mushrooms. I have no fucking idea. But I think this is the turkey tail. And the reason I think that is because, I mean, it looks like a turkey's tail, but that actually isn't the distinguishing factor. If the underside is white, it also has pores, and the pores are also small. It has to be all of those things. If it is see-through, then usually it's a crust fungus that looks similar just because of the, I think the word striation patterns. But I could be wrong on that. And that one would be, well, I thought that was a mushroom, but it's not. And that one would be a different one called Stereomostraya. And that one, yeah, the crust fungus is not the same as the turkey tail. The turkey tail is a polypore. The word poly meaning, obviously, you know, like my girlfriend's poly. She fucks other men. There's no nectar, so he's bopping around. Oh, I might have found some. I guess she. I don't want to misgender the bee. Pretty sure when I get home, my window is left open and I'm fucked and my whole room's gonna be flooded. Whoops. We'll find out. We'll be back when I'm home. And then that'll be the end of the episode.
Hi, Sarah. Hey, Sachi.
Aww.
So, much like myself, you're a bit of a book influencer as a journalist.